Welcome to this week's live Kendallville Talk Sports Show here at the Gridiron Grill. Come out, church is over, get out here, there's 8 TVs. Colts are on in an hour, they're at home today, playing Jacksonville, the roof is open. And get out here, get some good food, watch the show. We'll do a little interaction, we'll have a trivia question you can answer. Call us, email us, Facebook the show, and it's an easy question this week. Guaranteed to have a winner. Got 4 guests with me this week. To my right, classmate of mine, Snyder, 79 graduate, Mr. John Kramer, Leo, Indiana. Son is a stud football player up at Trine. He's got a recruiting service. He's going to talk about that today, later in the show. To my left is East Noble head tennis coach, Nathan Toles. And he's going to talk about the season. The boys are having a good year. And to my far left, East Noble star linebacker, he's a junior, Mr. Walker Boyles. But we're going to start the first segment today. We're going to talk about East Noble tennis and get you up to speed with what Coach Toles is doing with the boys. He can run through the roster and just kind of highlight the last week. Now, Coach, yesterday I was there. Obviously, for you that don't know this, my son is a junior and he plays tennis. He's a doubles guy. He has played some singles, but he mainly plays doubles for Coach Toles. I've known Nate for a long time, good friend of the family, and he's had a very successful transition here into the program. I think you replaced, what, Coach Desper?
Coach Desper, that's right.
And just kind of highlight the matches this week and talk about the rain we had here yesterday. It was kind of disappointing.
It was disappointing, Steve. Not very easy to play when the weather's like that. So we got there nice and early yesterday, and the rain held off for us for the first part of the morning. But after that, it was all downhill. We got about half the first round matches done, and then after that, it was all bad weather. So we canceled yesterday. But this week we had a good week with conference. This week we played New Haven Cal. New Haven we won 5-0 under similar weather conditions that we had yesterday. Threat of rain, high winds, cold temperatures, not very ideal tennis weather, but we played well, won 5-0 New Haven, and then on my birthday, Thursday evening, we played DeKalb, and very, very tough match, rivals there in the NHC, but we ended up falling a little short to DeKalb 2-3.
Okay. Yeah, we share the same birthday, don't we?
That's right, we do. Happy birthday, belated birthday.
Yeah, I'm a lot older than you are, but
really?
Now break down. Yeah, now Coach, break down the matchups and looking into sectional. When does that start now? This week?
Sectional draws tomorrow night, 5 o'clock, and then we begin play on Wednesday, Thursday, and then if necessary Friday, and then the championship will be held on Saturday morning.
Okay, now we host the sectional.
We do host the sectional. Yeah, this is my 5th year with East Noble, and we've hosted every year.
Okay, now how many teams are in it? And I mean, explain what the odds are of us repeating. Again, we've won it, what, 4 years in a row?
We're going on 4 years here. Yep. This year we'll make 5 if we can execute and compete to the level that I know that we're necessary here to win. Lakeland, West Noble, Central Noble, us, and then the house school are our potential opponents next week there for sectional. So I'm looking forward to it. We don't play how during the regular season. We beat Lakeland 5-0. We beat West Noble 4-1. We beat Central Noble 4-1. And we haven't played Westview head-to-head, but we did see Westview over at the Concord Invitational. And while we were over there, we played them in 3 positions, and we were successful in all 3 of those spots. So a 5th title is looking like a strong possibility for us.
Okay, now break down who are the singles players and the doubles. Just go through the roster, maybe what grade they're in, and
sure. Pretty consistent lineup the last couple of weeks of the season. All year, Matt Stallman, seniors, played #1 singles for us. He's 13-7 on the year. He's beaten everybody in the 4-county area. So if I had to guess, I would say he's a strong candidate for Player of the Year for the 4-county area. #2 singles, Evan Hart. He's had a pretty successful year. He's 10-8 on the year. He's played some really tough competition, but as we've progressed through, he's changed his style of play a little bit more to what we've been working on in practice, and he's starting to get it together at the right time of the year.
And he's only a sophomore.
He's a sophomore, that's right.
So, I mean, it's looking even good for next year.
That's right. And then number 3 singles player, Nathan Mans, we're glad to have him back. He broke his collarbone there the second week of the season. He's 4-1 since he's been back, so he's been a huge asset to us since he's been back. We're real happy about that and looking for him to catch his stride right at the right time of the year. Number 1 doubles team, Aaron Dills, Brennan Biggins, both juniors. They're in a tough spot. A lot of teams, their best 2 players play 1 dubs, and they have a real tough task ahead of them as the postseason begins next week. But they're playing very well right now. And then number 2 doubles team, your son Carl, and then my nephew Nathan Toles. They're 4-1 since we put them together here. Only losses to number 4 state-ranked Canterbury, and they lost 2-6, 6-7. So that was a real tough match. Very easily could be 5-0 right now, and they're a huge asset to us there. So I'm almost guaranteeing them a win.
The other thing I really like about the tennis program, and you can talk about this too. For years, it just seems like the East Snowball tennis team. Not only are we very successful in that sport, for whatever reason, because people normally think of golf and tennis as like a rich sport. But the thing is, your kids are very smart.
They're very, very smart, yeah.
I mean, you look at the scholar athletes at East Noble, they're pretty much always tennis players. What's the connection?
Tennis, you've got to be very intelligent to play the game of tennis. I always tell the kids you can't be stupid and be successful at tennis. So, it's a mental game. We don't work a whole lot on strokes and grip and technique during the year. That's stuff that they take care of in the off season. My job is to get them to execute the game plan, develop a game plan, and really focus on the strategic aspect of it. And they've really got to think and apply what they've learned throughout the season and throughout their off-season work when they're out there. And if they're not doing that, they're not going to be successful. So a couple of years ago, what was it, 2010 graduating class, I think we had 6 seniors and 4 of them were academic all-state. So we've had a very long tradition of academic success with our program.
Yeah, like Jeremy Mertz, a kid comes to mind.
Yep, Chris Doyle, and a bunch of other kids. So Derek Kramer, all very, very, very bright kids who are all on their way at college right now. So very proud to be a part of that.
Now explain the coach. I'm not real smart. I think you're a lot smarter than I am. Explain this to me, the strategy. I mean, obviously, there's 5
positions. Yep.
5 positions.
3 singles, 2 doubles.
So basically, if I'm looking at this as a math major, I'm thinking, okay, if I can steal number 3 singles and number 2 doubles, I'll probably win 2 of the other 3, and I'll win every match.
That's the idea there. You generally put teams that we run across, their best player generally plays number 1 singles. There are a few instances where you'll put the number 1 and 2 players at a number 1 doubles position if the rest of the team is maybe inexperienced, things like that. As the season progresses and we get to the postseason here, if the number 1 singles or the number 1 doubles teams go undefeated during the postseason, even if the team loses, those 2 positions can move on and play in the individual tournament. So in the back of your mind as a coach, you got to be thinking about that. What chances do you have as the team going on? And if the likelihood is not too high that your team will move on, then you try and get those upperclassmen, generally seniors, a position where you think they can be successful in the individual tournament.
One more question. You've got some kids that have moved around. My son being one.
Yes.
It's just an observation. It's just you're the coach, and that's fine. I mean, wherever you play him, he'll play. Are there any conference rules for making all conference that you've got to play so many matches at one position?
That's correct. Yeah. All conference. The way that the NHC operates is that you've got 10 singles positions, and the top 10 singles players get that. Almost indefinitely, all number 1 singles players across the conference will receive all conference distinction. The idea there is that most number 2 singles players or number 3 singles players of other schools probably wouldn't beat the number 1 singles player from a competing school.
Gotcha.
Invariably there you have generally all number 1 singles players make all conference. After that, it's pretty much a dogfight for the remaining three positions as to who will get all conference. Doubles operates a little differently there. The doubles, there's 4 positions total. So in some cases, if a school is very, very good and talented at doubles, they might have their 1 and 2 doubles receive all conference. There's a catch here though. Your number 2 singles player or 3 singles player or number 2 doubles team cannot receive all conference honors unless the number 1 singles player or the number 1 doubles team has received all conference already. The idea there that once again it's the best the best people at that position.
Okay.
So it's not, you know, they don't award a 2 singles all conference and a 3 singles all conference. It's the best singles players and the best doubles teams, regardless of where their position is.
Correct.
So it's very, very difficult with Homestead and Carroll in our conference. Homestead, I believe, was at one point there operating on 20+ conference titles in a row. So it's pretty difficult to compete in the NHC. We're very fortunate this year. We had 2 tough losses. We were banged up, but we finished 3 and 4 in the NHC. So an improvement from last year.
But that's logical though, because if you had a really good number 2 team, doubles team, but you know they're obviously not number 1 at their own school, how can they be all conference?
Correct. That's exactly.
That doesn't make a lot of sense.
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay. One other thing here before we let you go, we'll have a break. Again, come on here to the Gridiron. We got ATVs. Come on, get to dinner. We're going to continue part 2 of the show here in just a minute. But Nate, before you go, explain this to me. I know this is tough. A lot of these Fort Wayne schools, they've got a high school coach, but he's pretty much just a statue. I mean, these kids are playing, you know, racket club ball, and you know
they play all
memberships, Canterbury, Homestead, Carroll, you know, wealthier schools. That's hard to compete against.
Very, very difficult.
I mean, your conference is loaded.
We are. It's a very talented conference traditionally. Our district, District 2, there's 5 districts across the state. District 2, traditionally, other than District 5, which is the Indianapolis schools, District 2 and District 5 generally have the toughest competition in the state. So we're in a tough spot, but we love to be there. And you know, we're successful not because of all the time that we spend. You know, in the racket clubs, we're successful because we have those kids that work and work and work and work and work. And I'm so proud to be a part of that.
Well, it's a thrill to have you here today. In your honor, I did wear the Eastonville tennis hat, plus the glare off my forehead out there. But anyway, thanks for coming. I appreciate you being here. Good luck in the sectional on Wednesday. And we'll look in the paper, then it'll be posted.
Of course, always, yep. Always.
And the championship match would be then
Saturday morning.
10 o'clock Eastonville. Again, we're hosting it. Come out and support the local kids. And we're going for a number 5, right?
5th in a row, yep.
It'd be a record, or tie a record.
Tie a record for the Eastonville tennis program.
Thanks for being here. We appreciate it. God bless you. Have a great week.
Thanks.
We're going to take a short break. We'll be back here at the Gridiron for part 2 of the show. Stick around.